Alright, listen up. Imagine being the world's most feared demon lord, getting ganged up on and killed, only to wake up as a total nobody in your enemy's headquarters. Talk about a nightmare start. But you think our boy is done for? Fidno. He unlocks a villain system and immediately mind controls his gorgeous, all-powerful master, turning her into his personal power-leveling machine. How insane is that? Picture this. 100 years ago, on the soul-reclaiming cliff, the three greatest grudges of his past life cornered demon Lord Chu Xiao. One vowed revenge for a sister, another screamed of justice, and the last had hunted him for 3 long years, breathing fire down his neck. They had him surrounded. But who was Chu Xiao? Robes stained, crimson eyes colder than winter's heart. He stood unflinching beneath the storm of lightning and hatred. Then she descended. Chi Mengdai, peak master of Cloudstream, ethereal as snow, her blade pointing at his soul. Chu, she asked, voice like frozen steel, having fallen to such a state. Do you regret it? Regret? Chu Xiao threw his head back and laughed into the thunder. Ha ha ha. Chu Xiao, cultivated for less than a century, my entire life was spent in constant. His words were cut off as his enemies swarmed. Who dares call themselves invincible? Who dares say he is undefeated? Once more, he was swallowed by blades and fury. Qi Mengdie's sword pointed to the heavens, arcs of blue lightning crackling around her. Her verdict was final. You do not know how to repent. Then don't blame us for being merciless. From below, the gathered heroes roared in answer. Let's go together. Take his life. The final, desperate siege had begun. Then, faster than a thought, Chu Xiao's hands flew into a complex seal, and crimson energy erupted from his core. His foes paled. Not good. He's trying to use his final move. Stop him. Too late. The mountaintop vanished in a cataclysm of red, blue, and green pillars of pure annihilation, the shockwave blasting his attackers to the winds. And in that very moment of doom, a miracle erupted. Behind him, heavenly manifestations tore through reality. A golden Buddha, an elegant violet goddess, a fierce crimson demon, 3 colossal avatars spanning 3,000 worlds. Breaking through immortality and seeking longevity, he laughed, a mad, bloody grin splitting his face. The Emperor regrets, but I do not. Boom! The world turned white, then red. A scarlet wave of self-destruction devoured everything. Stone vaporized, space itself warped. And through the cataclysm, one last, awful scream. A.H. Some great hero was unmade, atom by atom. Silence. On the scorched, snowy plain, all that remained was a bloodied, broken demonic blade, driven into the earth. A cold caption read, in the end, I lost. It seemed Demon Lord Chu Xiao had finally, truly fallen. The survivors sat in the snow, clutching wounds, their shock palpable. Demon Chu, self-destructed, an elder with hair as white as the landscape, gazed upon the ruins and sighed deeply. Sigh. Pity, what a pity. Had he gone to the Tianyuan Great Wall to slay demons and barbarians, he would definitely have been a mighty general of our human race. Even in victory, there was a thread of regret. But woven through that mournful air of voice, defiant, echoing across time and the cloud-wreathed peaks of the mighty Taisho holy grounds and its 18 spirit peaks, whispered a challenge. You think, Demon Chu, will die just like that. Cut to 1 month later. Cloudstream Peak. A streak of crimson light screamed from the heavens and smashed directly into the closed disciples' palace. On a luxurious bed, a young man with black hair and crimson eyes leisurely opened his eyes, a smirk playing on his lips. Demon Chu am back. But then his hand flew to his forehead, frustration washing over him. Why? Because he discovered his new vessel was a total washout, a cripple weaker than a spirit chicken, with 0 talent and luck blacker than pitch. The salt in the wound? 10 days ago, the original owner of this body, trying to win favor, challenged a direct disciple from the Heavenly Sword Peak to a life and death duel. The result? He got crippled in one move, becoming the laughingstock of Cloudstream Peak. As the poor wretch sat in his room, drowning in despair, ding, the system arrived. The system interface flashed. In light of your status as my piece, your enemies are also my enemies. I will now. Chu Xiao, veteran of one life, already mused. Last time he'd picked destined villain. Felt great, but being hated everywhere? Not so nice. This time, his finger tapped a new option. I'll choose the hidden villain. Lay low first, settle scores later. Ambition fired. He immediately sat in meditation, circulating energy to forge the strongest foundation anew. 1 hour later, Nothing. Not a flicker. This body, crippled and grievously wounded, had talent worse than a rock. Chu Xiu's lip twitched. This body is useless. The conventional path was clearly a dead end. Outside, in the autumnal courtyard, golden leaves drifted down. Fellow disciples chatted over a game of Go. The mountain master returned 3 days ago after killing Demon Chu. Was Demon Chu really invincible among his peers? Just a lesser saint. How could he escape tens of great saints? Evil people like him should be eliminated. They were casually discussing Chu Xiu's very own past life. And at that very moment, the evil fiend they spoke of was hiding behind a corridor pillar, listening to every word, a wicked smile curling his lips. You certainly couldn't have imagined in your wildest dreams, he thought, that not only am I not dead, but I've also joined your ranks. Can't beat them? Then join them. Sigh, I'm so smart. Ahem. He smoothed his robes and stepped out of the shadows. Speak of the devil. Just as Chu Xiu stepped into the light, the very disciples gossiping about his past life collided with his path. You could see it in their eyes, respect laced with disdain. Chu Xiu knew exactly what was going on. You scorn this failure? Little do you know, this name you despise is the one you should fear the most. Humming, he turned, making a beeline for the grand entrance of the grand hall. He pushed open the grand hall doors. Inside, amidst swirling immortal energy, sat his ethereally beautiful master, Qi Mengdai, lounging by her throne with an expression one could only call knowing. Before Chu Xiu could speak, she beat him to it, her voice a lazy, pointed drawl. Zhu Xiu, wounded for 10 days, and not a word. What brings you to me today? Seeking my help to advance your cultivation. Chu Xiu's temper flared white-hot. This sham of a master, twisting the narrative. He took a sharp step forward, eyes like hone blades. My cultivation is low. Master, do you truly not know why? Where are my resources? All funneled to my juniors, right under my nose. Did you ever think to ask me? This wasn't a question. It was an accusation. Slap. Qi Mengdai slammed her hand on the table, her delicate brows drawn into a scowl. Outrageous. Your own lack of talent and laziness are to blame, and you dare point fingers at me? Ridiculous. Chu Xiu, hearing this, merely smiled, a smile that sent a chill down her spine. He spoke slowly, deliberately. Master, it's not simply because I share the exact same name as Demon Chu, is it? The gauntlet was thrown. Qi Mengdia's expression shifted, fury barely contained. I have never placed my rage on you. Return. I will seek medicine for you. Continue your cultivation. It was a tactical retreat, but Chu Xiu wasn't playing. His eyes narrowed, a dangerously playful smile curling his lips. No, I think Master can help me right now. Before she could blink, he was in her space, their breaths mingling. His voice dropped to a conspiratorial whisper, each word a hammer blow. This disciple has heard. Master possesses the heavenly fragrance physique. If I could dual cultivate with you, not only would my injuries heal, even this wretched aptitude could be remade. His gaze held hers. Master, please, dual cultivate with me. Traitorous disciple. Yudi. This insult was beyond bearing. Qi Mengdai erupted with azure light, a furious palm strike aiming to cripple his meridians and expel him. The force was mere inches from his face. Then Chu Xiu moved. Not to dodge, to retaliate. A violent, crimson energy burst from his core like a volcano. A deafening boom. Qi Mengdai was flung backward, her legs giving way beneath her. Qi Mengdai lay crumpled, sheer terror in her eyes. What happened? My sacred techniques. Why can't I use them? Unhurried, Chu Xiu knelt before her, a predator's smile on his lips. Don't be tense, master. His hands came to rest firmly on either side of her head, his voice a devil's whisper. This disciple merely wishes to receive your personal tutelage. Blank or transitional panel, skipping. And in that moment, the mysterious destined villain system interface flashed into existence, crimson text blazing. Alert, host has officially become a traitorous disciple. Truly a great villain's nature. Reward, 1,000 breakthrough points. The scene shifts. The system scans master and disciple. Master, terrified and helpless. Disciple, in absolute control. The title looms large. This master-offending disciple is no saint. Qi Mengdia's mind reeled. What has this traitor done? I'm as powerless as a mortal. Chu Xiu tilted her chin up, forcing her to meet his gaze, his smile utterly amused. What did I do? Qi Mengdai, humiliated and furious, spat out the truth through clenched teeth. It was me. That day I was pursued by tens of great saints. I secretly placed the heavenly weeping samsara seal on you. Hatred burned in her eyes, mixed with something else, inexplicably complex. Chu Xiu actually laughed. A system prompt chimed in his mind. Heavenly weeping mother-child samsara seal, conceal a female cultivator's cultivation. The bearer holds absolute control. He leaned in, his breath ghosting her ear, voice deceptively soft. TSK, TSK. For someone thousands of years old, your skin is remarkable. Since you hate me so, Master, go on. Kill this traitorous disciple. Don't just talk about it. Chu Xiu began his psychological assault. He tilted his head. Master, what if Sword Sky Peak's Lord Lu Shui found out that the demon Lord Chu Xiu she's been hunting, the one who slew her father with a single sword, was reborn as your useless disciple, now powerless? He paused, savoring the blood draining from her face. How do you think she'd— Thank you. Ah, I hear she's quite unhinged. Chi Mengdai jolted as if struck by lightning. One thought screamed in her mind. Asterisk cannot tell her. Lu Shui must never know. Asterisk she opened her mouth to reject whatever came next. Asterisk slap. Asterisk a pair of black-gloved hands clamped down on her shoulders. Chu Xiu's voice rang out like a verdict. Don't be so quick to refuse. Heavenly treasures, divine pills, cultivation resources. This master offers them all. Take your pick. Chi Mengdai struggled. And no, I don't want any of that. Chu Xiu merely smiled, a cold, empty thing. Afraid? He closed the distance, his oppressive aura swallowing her whole. Master, you were among those who besieged me that day, weren't you? How does it feel now? Then his tone shifted. He produced a scroll gleaming with golden light. Don't fear. This is a treasure. An ancient, peerless technique. It will greatly benefit you. A technique? Chi Mengye's gaze fell upon the scroll, and her spirit quaked. The Taoist principles flowing across its surface, they contained a wisp of heavenly Tao essence. This was no artifact of the mortal realm. Her head snapped up, meeting the gaze of this domineering, smirking traitor. A horrifying realization dawned. Asterisk, who is he? How does a failed disciple possess such a world-shaking legacy? Asterisk, ding. Host has dual cultivated with immortal Mingdia. Injuries recovering. Ding. Host has dual cultivated with immortal Mingdia. Cultivation aptitude increased. Aptitude plus 100, plus 100, plus 100. The system chimes erupted like firecrackers. Chu Xiu's eyes were shut tight, violent spiritual energy roiling around him as cultivation barriers shattered one after another. Foundation building second stage, third, eighth. Hours later, ding. Host has reached the ninth foundation building stage. The storm passed. Chu Xiu adjusted his robes, offering a lazy salute to the still-dazed Chi Mengdai on the bed. My thanks for your tutelage, master. I'll take my leave. He turned to go. Chi Mengdai snapped back to reality, a flush still on her cheeks. Traitorous disciple. You got what you wanted. Now undo the seal. Chu Xiu paused, not even turning his head. Of course not. He slowly produced a crystal shimmering with an eerie blue light, rolling it between his fingers. Master, you better hide your sealed cultivation well. Oh, and guess what this is? He turned, a brilliant smile on his face. An image-retaining crystal. He. I saved a little souvenir of our lesson. Chi Mengdai was thunderstruck. Chu Xiu remained unruffled, laying out his final terms. Master, on account of our long-term friendship, I won't undo the seal yet. You could search the entire Tianqiong continent and find no one else who can, unless it's the Heavenly Emperor Reborn. His smile turned icy. A pity, the Emperor is long gone. If I die, you live as a mortal till old age. Oh, and if I die, the souvenir in this crystal spreads far and wide. He looked down at his shivering, sweat-drenched master. Master, do you believe me? Chu Xiu held the glowing crystal, his words hitting Chi Mengye's deepest fear. Imagine it, master. When that time comes, what will all the cultivators of the Tianqiong continent think of their pure and saintly master? Utter ruin, eternal shame. No sooner had he spoken than the golden, sacred statue at the heart of the Holy Land cracked open with a violent tremor. A silver-haired figure erupted with a storm of fury. You traitorous disciple. You won't die a good death. Hatred, shock, humiliation, and the overwhelming helplessness of a peak power being controlled by a mere ant all drowned her in an abyss of despair. His steps echoed on the ancient stone stairs as Chu Xiu's mind raced. The hidden trove from his past life, the foundation-building resources in that valley, were they still there? The Taisu Holy Land was a gilded cage. How to slip away unnoticed. A slight frown creased his brow as he arrived before a certain building. His gaze locked onto the plaque. Office for fast boat hiring. The corner of his mouth curved upwards. Wasn't this the perfect opportunity dropping right into his lap? The night wind howled, cutting across the 10,000-foot chasm. Chushio stood at the prow of a small boat, his dark hair and robes whipping wildly in the gale. Below, the bottomless gorge lay hidden, chains spanning the void, waterfalls roaring like dragons. He gazed upon the treacherous, familiar terrain, a smile blooming in the darkness. Timing, location, isn't this the perfect opportunity tailor-made for me? Crimson light flickered around him. The boat plunged through the roiling mists, heading straight for the heart of the perilous abyss. The demon lord's memories were the ultimate treasure map. The small boat cut through the waters of an underground river, the cavern walls shimmering with eerie blue electricity. Chushio's gaze was sharp, scouring every shadow of the rock. For his future comeback in his past life, he had hidden a vast trove of foundation-building resources here. What hid back then should probably still be there. As the raft touched the rocky shore, a faint, long-dormant crimson glow on the stone was finally caught by his eye. No sooner said than done. He bit his fingertip, using his vital blood as ink, swiftly inscribing a 5-pointed crimson array onto the rock. Crack. Crimson light shot towards the cavern roof, dust and smoke billowing. A seal untouched for a century shattered open. As the light faded, a simple wooden chest and several bulging spirit stone pouches materialized before him. Chushio burst into triumphant laughter. The foundation-building treasures are indeed still here. Wait till I, Chushio, grow stronger and restore my strength. Those who wrong me will pay, every last one. But who could have predicted it? No sooner had he secured the treasure than a voice full of venom exploded from behind him. Trash Chu, I didn't think I would meet you here again. Chushio spun around. A figure approached on a flying sword, his aura sharp as a blade. It was Zhang Meng, the direct disciple of Tianjian Peak, who had publicly crippled his cultivation and trampled him into the mud just 10 days ago. When enemies meet, their eyes blaze with fury. Just as the mocking laughter swelled, Chushio suddenly took a step forward. His voice, cold as forged iron, sliced through the night air. I'll take my dues later. 10 days from now, at the arena of life and death, we shall battle again. The words fell like a thunderclap. What did he say? Did I hear him right? This trash is challenging the deathmatch arena? On the other flying boat, Zhang Meng was stunned for a split second before fury twisted into a contemptuous grin. Chushio, if you're seeking death, don't blame me for my actions. A powerful aura erupted from Chushio. In 10 days' time, he declared, then shot into the sky on his boat, leaving behind a trail of shocked whispers. Under the cover of deep night, Chushio returned to the familiar cave dwelling. Chimengdie's abode. Perfect, secluded and quiet, ideal for my cultivation. Everything that is yours will eventually be mine. He smoothed his robes, adopting a posture of deference laced with a hint of insolence, and called out brightly, Master, your disciple has come to pay his respects again. Inside, the silver-haired woman seated on the lotus platform snapped her eyes open. A frosty glint flashed within them. Traitorous disciple, what is your business here at this hour? Before Qi Mengdai could finish her rebuke, the playful smirk on Chushio's face deepened. He raised his right hand slightly. Between his fingers, a blinding crimson light erupted. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Hundreds of fiery red sigils materialized from thin air, instantly weaving together into an ancient, profound, and incredibly complex formation. The formation disk hummed with power, energy rippling outwards, making the very stone walls of the cave groan. What does Master want me to do? Chimengdie's pupils shook, her voice trembling with disbelief. This formation, is it the legacy of the primordial formation ways, lost to time? Chushio let out a soft chuckle. Good eyesight, Master. Do you want it? What will you offer in exchange? Qi Mengdai gritted her silver teeth, shaking her head in anger. I don't. Chushio wasn't put off. Instead, he offered a spirit fruit as if pacifying a child. Master is immortal now. You need to eat. He watched with amusement as his master was forced to eat, her face flushed with humiliation. Playful as he was, his tone turned serious. Master, I set up a killing formation in the rear palace. You best not intrude casually. He leaned closer, his breath ghosting over her ear, his voice low and laced with absolute authority. Your disciple still needs you to improve his cultivation. Outside the window, Qi Mengdai watched the meditating figure with conflicted emotions. Inside, before Chu Xiao, three objects floated: the divine technique Great Tao Scripture, the heaven-defying Sheng Sheng Ascension Fruit, and the vast memories and insight of his past life as the Demon Lord. He took a deep, steadying breath. With these three supreme treasures of heaven, earth, and man as my foundation, aided by the system's power, from here on out, who will have a better foundation than me on the Tianxiong continent? The next moment, the fruit entered his mouth. Divine fire erupted within his dantian. Boom! The system's cold voice rang out one after another. Host cultivation downgraded to mortal. Chu Xiao's face was expressionless as he decisively selected yes for the breakthrough prompt. In an instant, the cosmos unfurled within his consciousness. He operated the Great Tao Scripture, using the divine fruit as fuel and his past life experience as the spark. Crash. Boom. First realm shattered. Second realm shattered. Third realm shattered. 9 months of time flew by in the blink of an eye. System notifications raining down. A column of golden fire shot towards the heavens, reaching the very peak of the 9th realm. 7 days and nights, without food or drink. Chu Xiao focused his entire being, letting the violent energy scour every meridian and pore. He knew others stopped at 9 layers of foundation establishment, but he aimed for, shattering an ancient iron law, stepping into the legendary 10th layer. A crisp, clear snapping sound came from within his body. It was done. His eyes snapped open, divine light blazing from his crimson pupils. A vast, golden shockwave erupted from him and swept across the courtyard, sending flower petals spiraling into the air. I did it. The 10th layer of foundation establishment. Flawless perfection. Just as Chu Xiao was riding the high of his breakthrough, outside the cave dwelling, Qi Mingdai clapped a hand over her mouth, her face paling completely. There's someone outside the palace. Her warning came a second too late. A clear, gentle, yet subtly probing male voice already rang out. Sister Mingdai, have you come out from your cultivation? The newcomer, dressed in splendid robes and exuding an imposing aura, was none other than the master of Tianxing Peak, Lu Shui. His seemingly concerned gaze, however, stabbed like a sharp blade towards the depths of the cave. A storm was brewing. At almost the same moment, every powerful figure in secluded cultivation within the Taisu Holy Land was stirred by a sudden, overwhelming spiritual pressure. Atop the snowy peak of Tianxing Peak, Master Lu Shui narrowed her eyes, gazing towards the direction of Yunxia Mountain, where an orange spiritual vortex threatened to tear the sky itself. A flicker of suspicion and shock crossed her mind. What a powerful spiritual whirlpool. Is that bitch Qi Mingdai having a breakthrough? Her spiritual sense swept outwards, attempting to pry into the secrets at the heart of that vortex. At the very center of the vortex, Chu Xiao slowly levitated. His flesh and spirit had been tempered to their absolute limit. Now, using his unprecedented foundation as fuel, he would shatter his shackles and carve open his sea of consciousness. Now, with my extreme foundation, I shall break through my chains. Ascend. He clenched his fists. The chains within him shattered link by link. A torrent of majestic energy surged out like a mountain flood and tsunami. A system prompt blazed to life. Message: detected host undergoing a large breakthrough, ascending into the SEA of consciousness stage with 10 foundation stages. Before the waves of his breakthrough could even settle, another, even more blinding light crashed down. A waterfall of golden radiance enveloped Chu Xiao. Ding. Host achieved perfection. Reward mechanism triggered. A smirk had just begun to form on Chu Xiao's lips when the reward details flashed before him, freezing his expression. Roi, primordial sacred constitution. Chu Xiao's eyes went wide. Primordial, sacred constitution? What the is that? The next moment, the prompt merging with the host had him cursing out loud. After the fusion was complete, Chu Xiao massaged his temples, feeling a massive headache coming on. The primordial sacred constitution, the foremost of all ancient physiques. Limitless potential on one condition. You can find the monstrous amount of resources needed to feed it. The system delivered its merciless verdict. In the current era, this sacred body was virtually useless. As frustration surged within him, the system flashed a bold, bloody message. Not enough resources? Rob, kill. Leave none who can stand against you. Resources will come. Chu Xiao fell into deep thought, his fingers lightly tapping. He summoned his status panel. Host, Chu Xiao. Constitution, Primordial sacred. Realm, sea of consciousness, first layer. Talent, heavenly grade. Luck, -18. Comprehensive combat power, 19 times the norm. Closing his eyes, he suppressed all negative emotions, a calculating smirk finally curling his lips. Fortunately, I still have my dear master. No sooner had the old demon finished his calculations than he put them into action. Behind the unsuspecting Chi Meng Dai, who had just been stealing fruit offerings before the sacred statue with a blissful smile, a shadow fell. That treacherous disciple was already there, his gaze holding not a shred of respect. Caught off guard, the beautiful master faltered, her words stumbling. Chu Xiu's nose twitched, and a smirk curled his lips. Master, it's in a few days. How come you smell? His insinuation hit its mark. Chi Meng Dai, trapped by his occupation of the rear courtyard, hadn't been able to bathe. Flushed with shame and anger, she scolded his insolence. But Chu Xiu seized the opening, putting on a mask of loyalty. If it's this disciple's fault, he said, voice dripping with false concern, then let me personally assist you with your bath. Don't worry, master. Your disciple won't mind one bit. The scoundrel wasn't done. He added fuel to the fire. Even after days without a bath, master's skin remained so flawless, Chi Meng Dai flushed crimson, sputtering treacherous disciple over and over. But in the midst of this tense, intimate stalemate, Chu Xiu's expression suddenly shifted. He clasped his fists and bowed earnestly. Master, I beg you, help me improve my talent. The whiplash was dizzying. As Chi Meng Dai turned to scold him again, her eyes shot wide. Someone's outside, she gasped. Outside stood Tianjin, master of Tianxing Peak. Chi Meng's heart leapt to her throat. Through the door, she stammered out a lie, cheeks flaming, claiming cultivation issues prevented her from eating. But her flustered, breathless act was all heard by the man behind her. A system notification blared. My God, host, you dual cultivated with your master again. Reward triggered. Mystical armament. Azure blood sword. Outwardly, he merely waved off Tianjin's concerned offer of healing pills. Another prompt flashed. Dual cultivation with heavenly fragrance constitution. Aptitude +100. This round, the profit was immense. The 3-day deadline loomed. The entire sect buzzed with talk of the life-and-death duel between Chu Xiu and Zhang Meng, laced with scorn for the trash disciple. Chi Meng Dai heard it all, her heart a mix of shame and anxiety, forced to maintain composure. And Chu Xiu? His talent had secretly skyrocketed to heavenly grade 617, his cultivation speed now 25 times faster. He paid no mind to the gossip, focused solely on squeezing resources from his dear master. No sooner had Tianjin finished presenting a melody called Phoenix Seeks Its Mate than Chu Xiu materialized behind her like a ghost. He wrapped an arm around his master's slender waist, whispering in her ear, Master, seeing how close we are now, you wouldn't mind lending me some cultivation resources, right? Even the system seemed appalled. Wow. Host, you take an inch and take a mile. How evil. 500 breakthrough points awarded. Chu Xiu only smirked wider. But then, a clear, sharp voice cut through the air. Bullying the weak, finding joy in mocking others. Is that what your peak masters taught you? All eyes turned. There stood Tao Yao, fifth disciple of Yunxia Peak, hands on her hips, a frosty glare pinning the jeering crowd in place. The duel hadn't even begun, but the tension off the stage was already reaching a boiling point. Cut to a secret chamber. Chi Meng Dai knelt on the floor, an array of glowing spirit herbs and spirit stones laid out before her. She clenched her jaw, voice trembling. These are all the 4th grade spirit herbs I can give. 5th grade ones are rare. With my storage ring sealed, I cannot access greater treasures. Chu Xiu, who had been standing with his back to her, slowly turned. His face showed no trace of hardship, only a light, knowing smile. Thanks for the goods, Master, see you. With a wave, he took his plunder and left without a backward glance. Chi Meng Dai was left alone, staring at the pile of ransom, her nails digging deep into her palms. The night was cold. Alone in a withered courtyard, Chi Meng Dai's mind churned. Ask the Holy Master for help. If the seal couldn't be broken and that traitorous disciple fled in alarm, she'd be trapped forever. Live out her days as a mortal, waiting for death. She drove a fist into ground, her whole being screaming with refusal. No, I will not just wait for the end. Suddenly, her eyes sharpened. She remembered something, a treasure she had secretly pocketed when that disciple had unsealed her. With a flick of her wrist, an ancient bronze fox mask materialized in her grasp. Her fingertips traced the cold bronze patterns, memories of a century-old siege surfacing. Old Demon Chu, had you walked the righteous path, you could have become an ancient sage. She shook her head with a sigh. Then her gaze hardened with resolve. No more hesitation. The mask settled over her face. Her majestic aura vanished in an instant, the elegant immortal replaced by a mysterious, icy fox-masked figure. I must escape him, and soon, she vowed. Under that same night sky, the seated Chu Xiu's crimson eyes snapped open, a flicker of lightning within them. A faint smile touched his lips. Oh, it seems my efforts are bearing fruit. The final 3 days before the duel, Chu Xiu wasted not a second. The azure blood sword from the system wasn't the pinnacle, but it would serve. With a life-and-death match so close, earnest comprehension will surely be useful. He closed his eyes, sinking his consciousness into the way of the sword. Sword intent, comprehend. Boom! Crimson, flame-like sword energy erupted from his body, shooting towards the heavens. He seemed to transform into a drawn blade of slaughter, scorching, sharp, ready to sever all obstacles. Standing upon his flying sword, Chu Xiu's spiritual sense spread out like an invisible tide, surging madly in all directions. System prompts flashed frantically. Congratulations, host. You've transcended into the metaphysical layers of the sword realm. Commencing the search for sword intents, 800 meters, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000. The detection range skyrocketed, crimson ripples parting the layers of clouds. His goal? The supreme sword intent beneath this vault of heaven. The one that best matched his demonic heart. 9,999 meters. The limit of his detection locked onto a terrifying number. Reflected in Chu Xiu's crimson pupils was a pillar of scarlet energy that pierced heaven and earth. It descended from the infinite heights, bearing the pressure to sever laws and annihilate all creation. Is this the celestial embodiment of sword intent? Shock lasted only a moment before being drowned by rampant joy. Without hesitation, he raised a hand, his mind clashing head-on with that supreme will. Sword intent, I claim Ti Chi. That heaven-piercing sword intent hadn't gone unnoticed. Deep within the Tai Su Holy Land, a woman of breathtaking beauty, her silver hair like a cascading river of stars, leaned against a railing, gazing into the distance. She had sensed the spiritual probe, searching for sword intent, initially chuckling with mild interest. But when the detection range echoed in her mind, 9,999 meters, her languid posture snapped taut, her eyes wide with sheer, unadulterated shock. In 30,000 years, only that quasi-emperor sword god reached such a realm. Could it be that a sword godlike figure will also appear in my Tai Su Holy Land? A sense of crisis, cold as a serpent, began coiling around her heart. 3 days had passed. The life and death arena atop heaven's punishment peak was packed. Auspicious clouds drifted, disciples from every peak gathered, all waiting to witness the fall of trash. Among the crowd, Ling Xiao, true disciple of Tianxing Peak, stood out with grace and poise, having broken through to the divine skill realm, drawing flattery from all sides. Elsewhere, a group led by Zhang Meng hurled taunts at the still absent Chu Xiu. That waste, he must have pissed himself in fear, too scared to show. Ha ha ha. Their words were sharp, grating on the ears. Bullying the weak, finding joy in mocking others. Is that what your peak masters taught you? A clear, cutting voice shattered the noise, cold as spring water cracking stone. A figure with pink hair stepped through the crowd. Tao Yao, fifth senior sister of Yunxia Peak. Her pretty face was frosty, her gaze sharp as a blade, aimed directly at Zhang Meng's group. The arena noise died down instantly. No one had expected this usually low-key senior sister to stand up for a universally acknowledged waste at such a moment. Just as tensions reached their peak, Chu Xiu has arrived. Someone shouted. All heads craned upward as one. A figure clad in black and red descended slowly from the sky, treading on air. His cloak billowed, his body wreathed in fading motes of crimson sword light, like a devil god descending to the mortal realm. The pressure he exuded instantly silenced the once noisy arena. Chu Xiu was here. Chu Xiu landed, first nodding to Tao Yao, who had stood up for him. His fingers lightly brushed her hair as he said, gently, "With junior sister here, no one can harm even a single hair on this senior brother." Tao Yao's cheeks flushed pink. But this moment of warmth, witnessed by a few in the shadows, only fueled their murderous intent. Zhang Meng exchanged a look with his accomplice, a savage glint in their eyes. Life and death arena. Killing him is justified. Tao Yao can overturn the sky with one palm? Huh. By the time she realizes, Chu Xiao will already be a corpse. The trap was set, and high in the stands, a mysterious woman in a bronze fox mask watched it all, her heart filled with doubt and shock. This Chu Xiao, why does he feel like a completely different person? Zhang Ming took a step forward, his aura aggressive. Zhu Su, since you've come, let's proceed to the life and death arena. His tone was dripping with impatience, as if dealing with an ant was wasting his precious closed-door cultivation time. Faced with this blatant contempt, Chu Xiao slowly lifted his gaze. Those crimson eyes held no anger, no fear, only a bottomless pool of mockery. A smirk touched his lips as his voice, clear and carrying, rang out across the mountain peak. Shut your trap. Let me make this clear. The real show was just beginning. The stage is set at Tianxing Peak's life and death arena, but the real game isn't about fists, it's about wits. Amid the crowd of eager disciples, Chu Xiao grins like a fox, casually producing a jade vial of sky profound pills. A wager for the discerning, he declares. Little do they know, the sheep is actually the wolf, counting his future spoils before the first blow is even struck. A sneer from the crowd, trash, they call him. But Chu Xiao doesn't rise to the bait. He just holds the shimmering pills aloft, a predator sizing up his prey. 6 million premium spirit stones, he states coolly. The air itself seems to freeze with the number. Then, the gauntlet drops. My 6 pills against all you've got. Who's in? The frenzy is real. Pool our funds. You bet. Chu Xiao will lose. The air crackles with greed and certainty. While the crowd burns with gold fever, Chu Xiao calmly collects the mounting pile of treasures, a silent shark in a feeding frenzy. The elder gives the nod, and in the next heartbeat, the storm is unleashed. The arena falls silent. Trash, you finally stepped up, Zhang Meng sneers, lightning crackling around his form. Chu Xiao turns, his crimson eyes a cold promise. On this stage, we leave life and death at the door. No more words. Zhang Meng moves, a tidal wave of violet thunder, a 9th-layer master aiming to crush a 4th-layer ant. The air shatters. Crack! A sword of condensed lightning slams down. Chu Xiao is hurled back, carving a trench in the stone. Zhang Meng presses the attack. Relentless, brutal, a storm of purple fury. Blow after blow rains down, sparks flying, stone shattering. Chu Xiao is on the ropes, a leaf in a hurricane. From the sidelines, whispers of a foregone conclusion begin to spread. Hey, not bad. Zhang Meng roars, his lightning swelling into a raging dragon. But try dodging this. The violet tempest closes in, a cage of certain doom. Yet, in the eye of the storm, a ghost of a smile touches Chu Xiao's lips. What does he know that they don't? From the stands, prayers are whispered, but cold analysis cuts through. Zhang Meng isn't holding back. All vital strikes. Defense alone can't win. The truth seems undeniable as a bolt of lightning finally finds its mark. Chu Xiao staggers, knee hitting the ground. Zhang Meng closes in for the kill. Is this the end? Come on, hit me. Chu Xiao taunts, a finger to his lips. Zhang Meng sweats, frustration boiling. He slips through my fingers. I can't drag this out. With a roar, he channels everything into one final, cataclysmic strike, a pillar of violet annihilation. But in his blind rage, he misses the glint of triumphant crimson in his opponent's eyes. Trying to pin me with sword pressure? Chu Xiao's mind races. Perfect timing to test my new toy. In a flash of crimson, it materializes in his grip, a weapon of brutal, flowing scarlet energy, like solidified wrath. As the violet doom descends, he doesn't block. He meets it head-on with a savage, upward slash. The clang of colliding destinies shakes the heavens. Red against violet. A cataclysm of opposing wills. The shockwave shreds the arena's barriers, throwing disciples off their feet. He fell for it. Zhang Meng crows, confidence unshaken. His primordial sacred constitution makes him peerless in close combat. But his triumph curdles into shock as he feels it, the inexorable, crushing pressure of Chu Xiao's scarlet blade pushing his own lightning back. Impossible. How? Zhang Meng's world fractures. Above him, wreathed in hellfire, Chu Xiao stands like a reborn demon god. A casual, almost bored comment drifts down. Not bad. Then, the scarlet light detonates. Zhang Meng is blasted from the stage, a broken doll. The roar of the crowd dies in their throats. Silence. Absolute, stunned silence. Under a cold moon, The lightning sword lies dim and forgotten. In the light of day, a purple-robed disciple slams his fist against stone, fury twisting his face. Damn it! Behind him, his fellows wear masks of shock. But the masterstroke is still to come. From the shadows, the silver-haired master watches the mountain of wagered treasures, a weary thought crossing her mind. This Chu Xiao doesn't know when to stop. Little does she know, stopping was never part of his plan. High above, amidst swirling nebulae, an ominous emblem materializes, the rebellious disciple and his icy master. A caption burns. This rebel is N.O. Holy Sun. Back on solid ground, chaos reigns. A fourth-layer sea realm, recently near death, defeated a ninth-layer peak? Nonsense. Gamblers weep over lost treasures. And at the arena's edge, Chu Xiao coughs up blood, swaying dangerously. The act begins. Senior brother. His junior sister rushes to his side. Chu Xiao leans on her, a picture of frail agony. To the legacy seat, he whispers. The moment she turns, a sly wink. I'm fine, he assures her. Inside, the true plan crystallizes. To play the weak lamb, you must sell the act. My apologies, dear juniors, your treasures have found a new owner. As Chu Xiao prepares to vanish with his windfall, a voice cuts through. The purple-robed youth steps forward, a cold smile on his lips. Quite injured, Chu Xiao? Don't worry, I'll see your winnings returned to their rightful owners. His gaze shifts, naming the next pawn. Chen Linfei, your turn. The direct disciple of Tianjin Peak steps forward, a new wall of steel and intent. Challenging him now is dishonorable, that the junior sister protests. Chu Xiao plays his part, the wounded warrior breathing labored. Another match, fine, but the stakes go up 30%. The purple-robed youth's grin widens. Greed without strength is a fatal sin. He agrees eagerly. Meanwhile, in Chu Xiao's mind, a chime, plus 200 breakthrough points. Host cunning is commendable. Who, truly, is setting the trap? The rumor spreads like wildfire. Look, Chu Xiao returns to the life and death arena. Against a divine bridge realm expert. He's wounded. No chance. All in. This is our comeback. The betting station is a riot of hope and desperation, treasures piling high. The bookie hides a grin. My fortune rests on you, dear brothers. On the high platform, a gong sounds. Chu Xiao versus Chen Linfei. Begin. A new storm gathers. On the arena, Chen Linfei doesn't draw his sword but sighs. Brother Chu, I bear you no ill will. His sister lies dying. Only a rare herb in senior brother Ling Yun's possession can save her. For this, he must fight. Blades have no eyes. If you die, blame no one. Chu Xiao listens, then smiles. A touching tale. The smile vanishes. Crimson killing intent erupts around him. On this stage, life and death are left to fate. A flash of red. A downpour of bloody sword light already descends. Chen Linfei's eyes widen. A sneak attack. Chu Xiao parries the thrust with one hand, closing the distance like a phantom. A whisper, colder than grave frost, brushes his ear. I'll take good care of your little sister for you. Then, motion becomes a blur. Slash. Pierce. Cleave. A net of crimson afterimages traps Chen Linfei. His defenses shatter like glass under a hammer. Boom. A sun of gold and crimson swallows the arena's heart. Stone vaporizes, a heat wave forces the crowd back. From the settling dust, a figure rises. Glowing with golden light, wreathed in stardust, it's Chu Xiao. Not a trace of weakness remains. His gaze is a honed blade, his smile that of absolute dominion. He looks down at the defeated Chen Linfei, and further, at the sea of stunned, bankrupt faces below. This victory was never just about the fight. They say a villain's biggest downfall is a loose tongue. But our Chu Xiao, the reincarnated demon lord, learned that lesson the hard way. Watch his silent blade, colder than a predator's gaze. What a scene. Jaws on the floor all around. Chu Xiao, supposedly a mere fourth-layer sea of consciousness cultivator, is toying with his opponent. An elder points it out, shadow leaving. A mystic-grade technique executed with perfect mastery. This isn't a battle arena, it's a supply run. Mountains of golden elixirs, and senior brother Chu Xiao grins like he hit the jackpot. Then he holds up that heavenly soul pill, and the tables are about to turn. Little junior sister wrings her hands in worry, warning of a scheming enemy. But our man Chu Xiao, surrounded by his loot, his mind is already racing. 16,000 spirit stones. Just how many breakthrough points will they buy? The destined villain's system pings. Host is indeed despicable. Reward 200 breakthrough points. Ju Siu sculpt 1 point for this junk? Fine. If you play hardball, so will I. Buy low, sell high, and fleece the sheep to feed the wolf. A storm is brewing atop Tai Su Peak. The elders are perplexed. A talentless disciple triggered a primordial sword intent in a land of beginnings. Master Chi Meng Dia's heart sinks. Has something taken hold of her disciple? A twist. The Holy Lord Tai Su Zi decrees, nurture this disciple well. Behind her fox mask, Chi Meng Dai seethes. Nurture him? I'm just his personal cultivation resource now. And Chu Xiu? He's already scheming his next intimate tutoring session. Tension thick as perfume fills the master's chamber. Chi Meng Dai points an accusing finger. Traitorous disciple, what are you hiding? Chu Xiu bows, a smirk playing on his lips. Just a stroke of luck, a primordial sword intent. A Saint King's perception is not so easily fooled. Their game of cat and mouse has just begun. The night breeze is cool, their words sharper. A hothouse flower cannot weather the storm. Chu Xiu closes the distance, his finger nearly brushing the golden cat mask. So, I'm here to claim resources with my own strength. His master's breath hitches. Not today. She whispers, a tremor in her voice. Under the starry sky, master and disciple vanish. Only a predator and his cultivation vessel remain. Chu Xiu's hand caresses a smooth cheek, his voice a seductive murmur. Since master is free, help this disciple improve his cultivation base. The system pings relentlessly, points skyrocketing. 3 hours later, one man walks away thoroughly refreshed. Foundation at heavenly rank, cultivation speed multiplied 31-fold. The brink of a breakthrough. Yet Chu Xiu hesitates. Her seal weakens the dual cultivation. Should I undo it? He shakes his head. Too dangerous. He bows and takes his leave, feeling a gaze colder than ice on his back. Fame is a double-edged sword. News of Chu Xiu's double victory spreads like wildfire. The moment he sets foot towards treasure-gathering peak, the whispers begin. Leading the pack, a green-robed female disciple approaches, eyes gleaming. Senior brother, she coos. Is that honey on her lips or poison? Inside the treasure pavilion, riches gleam. Senior sister Chu smiles warmly, but Chu Xiu remains aloof, touching nothing. His mind races with calculations. Spiritual energy density. Could that be the key to breakthrough points? Beside him, the sister's smile is wearing thin. What in the world is he planning? 150 million. Top-grade spirit stones. Chu Xiu's casual request nearly gives senior sister Chu a heart attack. Are you planning to bathe in pills? She screams internally while scrambling to comply outwardly. Chu Xiu just leans back, smug. The system just gifted him a Earth-grade flying vessel. A dusty bronze fragment on a shelf. It resonates with the primordial sword intent within him. Chu Xiu's eyes narrow. Senior sister Chu waves it off. A useless trinket. Take it if you like. She doesn't see the predatory glint in his eyes as he closes his hand around it. A beast that has caught the scent of prey. Stones paid, goods delivered. Chu Xiu turns to leave. Senior brother, wait. She catches up, and her eyes change, a flash of gold deep within. I have a request. Here it comes. Chu Xiu smiles politely. What do you need, junior sister? The real game is about to begin. The Tai Su Divine Tower, just its name shifts the heavens. A relic of the Tai Su Heavenly Emperor, containing countless realms within, piercing the clouds and stars. The trial tests battle power, talent, comprehension, will, and Tao heart. The higher you climb, the greater the reward. Chu Xiu looks up. The summit seems to call to him. Perfume fills the air, a warm, soft body presses close. The ancient wild deeding opens soon, entry based on tower rank. With your power, breaking into the top 300 is child's play, she purrs. Chu Xiu remains rigid as stone, mind clear. Enough foreplay. What's your real price? The storyteller's block cracks down. And so, dear listeners, the tale pauses. Our brother, Chu Xiu's climb up the divine tower has yet to begin. Breakthrough. 4th layer of sea of consciousness, shattered. 5th layer, obliterated. 6th layer, annihilated. Golden light erupts into the sky. Lightning dances. Chu Xiu sits at the eye of the storm. Each system chime, a war drum. The foundation of a past demon lord, aided by a present-day system, igniting heaven-shaking flames on a humble peak. Critical moment. Chu Xiu sat atop a shattered dais, golden energy crackling around him. He tried to pierce the 10th layer of his sea of consciousness and hit an impenetrable wall. The voice of the villainous destiny system chimed coldly. Breakthrough failed. The three divine treasures, 10,000 spirits milk, Bodhi divine flower, soul, beastling fruit, each existed only in legends. Where to find them? He knelt amidst the fading radiance, the crimson light in his eyes dimming. Just when all paths seemed closed, a memory sparked. The yellow Yao secret realm, a half-rotten fruit. He had a lead. 3 days later, Tai Su divine peak. A deafening boom shattered the mountain's silence. A colossal bell was struck, its purple shockwaves cascading down the snowy slopes, louder than any avalanche. Looking out, spiritual skiffs swarmed like insects, ferrying disciples from every peak towards that ancient, towering pagoda. The Tai Su Divine Tower, opened only once every 30 years. Whispers rippled through the crowd. In such a prosperous age, I wonder who will break a record. As if in answer, the Dao Yun Peak's monument flared to life. A black, mechanical face manifested, its voice icy. Dao Yun Peak direct disciple. Su Ru Shui. Talent. Divine inferior grade. A stir ran through the assembly. From the shadows, Chu Xiu lifted his head, a smirk playing on his lips. Oh, a sea of consciousness disciple enters. The waters were about to be stirred. Upon the high platform, two elders conversed. Old Huang stroked his beard. This time, who do you favor? Mo Fei Yin, clad in red and black robes, crossed her arms. Yi Fan. His foundation, talent, and willpower are all exceptional. He bears watching. No sooner had she spoken than the scene shifted. A collective gasp rose from the crowd below. That speed, who is that? A streak of violet light, so fast it left no trail, tore across the sky, sweeping past peaks and pavilions. Both elders turned. Old Huang stared, dumbfounded. Mo Fei Yan's eyes narrowed sharply, a single syllable escaping her lips. Ah. The tension in the air snapped taut. The Cloudstream Peak's mountain gate was a scene of immortal splendor. Skiffs traversed the air, stone bridges spanned chasms, and the skies rang with congratulations. Congratulations, Elder Yang. Your peak has birthed a prodigy. This disciple kowtows in gratitude. The celebration was in full swing. Amidst the crags, a blue-robed youth with fiery eyes clenched his fist. This time, I will break into the top 10 of the Sea of Consciousness realm and ring the Tai Su Divine bell. Higher still, upon the streaming clouds, a figure stood with sword in hand, black and red robes fluttering. The Cloudstream Peak's direct senior disciple. He gazed down upon the festivities, expressionless. Beneath this celebratory surface, undercurrents shifted. Everyone coveted the summit, but the winds at the tower's peak were not for the faint of heart. In the snowy field, two men met for the first time. Yi Fan, clad in blue and white, bowed with a smile. The senior disciple of Cloudstream Peak. I've long admired you. Chu Xiu in black and red remained impassive, but a cold laugh echoed in his mind. Yi Fan? A name that sounds like a protagonist from a storybook, dripping with destiny. Hearing Chu Xiu recognized him, Yi Fan grew more humble. This junior has heard of senior brothers. Impressive hall of spirit stones at Celestial Star Peak. Senior brother Chu Xiu is truly kind and gentle, he thought, his smile widening. Chu Xiu's face remained a mask, but the sneer in his heart sharpened. Precisely the kind of noble person whose fortune will be drained dry without him ever knowing it. A polite surface meeting. Beneath it, a hunter had locked onto his luck. Ninth layer of the revolving sea, peak. First layer trial, begin. As the monument lit up with his name, Chu Xiu stepped forward. He clasped his hands towards the blue-robed disciple. My turn for the trial, Brother Yi. We shall meet again. With that, he turned and walked alone up the worn, ancient steps leading to the divine tower. Below him, 1,000 eyes watched. Above, a massive door emanated an imposing golden light. He didn't pause, striding directly into the golden beam slicing from the door's crack. His form was instantly swallowed by darkness. When his vision cleared, he stood within the first floor of the Tai Su Divine Tower. Rough stone steps underfoot, endless dark cliffs ahead, dotted with faint red pinpricks of light like the eyes of beasts. This trial reeked of menace from the very first step. Grillel. A low growl rumbled from the darkness as several shadowy forms lunged down the steps. Red eyes glowed, fangs bared, a stench of rot preceding them. Chu Xiu didn't even flinch. Crimson light flashed. A sword was in his hand. He sneered. Oh, they send a few hounds to greet their guest. Before the words faded, he moved. Fast as a ghost, his strike like thunder. Crack! Red light exploded. One beast was hurled back without a sound, smashing into the cliff wall in a shower of rubble. The others skidded to a halt, whimpers of fear rising in their throats. Warm up. Over. A bloody ascent, straight to the 67th floor. Having just annihilated the last sea of consciousness realm beast, the red mark on Chu Xiu's brow still glowing. The scene before him abruptly shifted. Gone was the bloody cavern. In its place, a pavilion amidst immortal mountains, cherry blossoms drifting in a moonlit bath. A pink-haired woman with twin tails, dressed in provocative attire, floated down, reaching to caress his cheek. Her voice was honey-sweet. Stay. Stay with me. Experience euphoria. A seductive fragrance filled the air, a charm woven from nothing. Chu Xiu's eyes turned cold, though his body didn't move. This tower was indeed extraordinary. From blood-soaked battle to a silken trap, all within a single floor. Trying to seduce me? You're too inexperienced. Chu Xiu parried the pink-haired woman's sword with a flick, his sneer lingering as he stepped onto the 68th floor. This layer was a bizarre landscape of multicolored flames, chains hanging in the air, and a central tiger-headed statue radiating ferocity. And before him, for figures already stood waiting. A hammer-wielding muscular giant, aura violet. A tall, white-haired swordsman, cold as ice. A crimson-haired woman whose sword intent burned like fire. And a masked figure in black, twin blades ready, presence utterly concealed. The most dangerous of all. Their auras intertwined. All four at the peak of the sea of consciousness realm. Chu Xiu's eyebrow arched. Oh, for peak sea of consciousness guardians? Now, this is more like it. A bloody climb, straight to the 98th floor. This layer transcended the mundane, resembling ancient battlefield ruins beneath a starry sky. Attacks came from all sides simultaneously. Take this. Chu Xiu deflected them with a sweep of his sword, but his eyes locked onto the silver-haired woman at the center. Bloody petals swirled around her. Her cultivation was the same as his, peak 9th layer sea of consciousness. Yet her pressure was unfathomable. An absurd, staggering realization exploded in his mind. Chu Xiu's pupils constricted. He pointed his sword, voice like thunder. You? Could it be? Are you actually Emperor Tai Su? The silver-haired woman remained silent. Chu Xiu threw his head back and laughed wildly. Ha! A primordial emperor. It really is. Good. Emperor. Let's battle. The scene splits, duality reigns. Above, a world-shattering clash. Chu Xiu's black cloak billowed as he struck, a blow meant to cleave the starry river itself. The blue-haired figure opposite him, blood-sprayed. An eerie crimson bloomed against the cosmos. Below, a woman's face, gentle, content, smiling. Starlight shimmered in her eyes, as if lost in the sweetest dream. Breath ragged from battle, killing intent still simmering, yet a gentle fantasy already woven. These two extremes reflected Chu Xiu's own state, seeking amidst destruction, catching breath after the bloodshed. On a battlefield shrouded in bloody mist, Chu Xiu pointed at the long-bodied figure on the ground, sneering. Impossible? He spat blood. With the strength of the primordial sacred constitution, I was casually sent flying by Tai Su Zi of the same realm. This doesn't make sense. Even if she is an emperor, it defies logic. Opposite him, the silver-haired woman in white, her expression ice-cold, slowly withdrew her power. Her voice was flat. It's over. Chu Xiu gritted his teeth and stood, the crimson light in his eyes blazing brighter. He had lost this fight decisively, but the pride of a demon venerable was not so easily broken. This gap, he would remember it. 98th floor passed. Amidst a sea of bloody blossoms, Chu Xiu stood with his back turned. Behind him, the silver-haired Tai Su Zi knelt on one knee, breathless. In the sky above, a colossal sword of flame shot upwards, tearing through the heavens. The scene shifted, a frozen plain, fire erupting from beneath the ice. A figure in black robes walked steadily towards several ancient stone monuments. Outside the tower, the records on the central monument were forcibly rewritten. Beside Chu Xiu's name, a new line appeared. 99th floor. Sea of Consciousness Realm. The entire Tai Su Holy Land trembled with the news. His battle with the ancient emperor left his memory hazy. Chu Xiu shook his head. Whatever. Now's not the time. He found himself in a mysterious void. 4 stone monuments, glowing with golden light, hovered in the air, inscribed with symbols of sword, fist, shield, and more. The system's voice chimed. Choose one. Learn within half a day. Score judged by quantity and proficiency. Without hesitation, Chu Xiu pointed at the sword monument. This one. His hand touched the surface, boom. A torrential flood of sword techniques crashed into his sea of consciousness. System. Consume all breakthrough points to study swordsmanship techniques. On his command, a frenzy of learning erupted. Host achieved mastery in 5 techniques. 35 techniques. 100 techniques. 1,000 techniques. Finally, the system's tone held a hint of resignation. Host breakthrough points depleted. In half a day, at an unimaginable pace, he had devoured the essence of 1,000 sword techniques. Chu Xiu threw his head back and howled with laughter bordering on madness. Ha ha! Everything rests, first form. He focused his mind. System. Appraise the skill, everything rests. A panel materialized, Sword Dao Technique Divine Grade. First form. Everything perishes. Destructive power. Attack speed. The description was brutally simple. An unavoidable, annihilating area of effect strike. Chu Xiu stared at the panel, laughing until tears welled. Worth it. These 1,000 breakthrough points were worth it. Even I think this attack is outrageous. Who could dodge this? The system chimed coldly. Second form, not yet learned. Warning. Attempting comprehension now may result in death. Chu Xiu's laughter cut off, but an even more insane battle light ignited in his eyes. The first form of a divine grade sword technique, mastered. The Tai Chi Plaza buzzed with noise. A man in resplendent golden robes stood before Sister Chu, a mocking smile on his face. Sister Chu, do you truly believe that Chu Xiu can reach the 80th floor and obtain the Emperor's silver sand? As he spoke, his hand reached for her cheek. Sister Chu slapped it away, her face frosty. Don't touch me. Yet her heart was unwavering. Brother Chu Xiu must be fine. At that precise moment, chaos erupted. A sword light, black as ink, tore a spatial rift directly above the plaza without warning. Simultaneously, the record monument outside the divine tower blazed with light. A line of brilliant golden characters seared into everyone's vision. Cloudstream Peak Direct Disciple Chu Xiu reached the 99th floor. Current realm sea of consciousness. The entire plaza fell into a deathly silence. The mocking smile on the golden-robed man's face froze, then shattered completely. Before the main hall of Cloudstream Peak, all eyes were fixed. Disciples stood in disciplined silence. Several bald disciples muttered quiet, not daring to breathe loudly. Inside the doorway, a brown-haired man and a gray-haired woman stood side by side, the woman beaming, the man's gaze sharp. With a long creak, the heavy hall doors swung slowly open. A figure in black and red robes stepped out from the shadows beyond, his pace unhurried. He lifted his eyes, sweeping over the silent crowd. A faint curve touched his lips, and his voice, though not loud, carried clearly to every ear. Sorry to keep you waiting. The gray-haired woman looked at him, her happiness almost overflowing. Chu Xiu had returned as the direct disciple of Cloudstream Peak, the prodigy who had conquered the 99th floor. On the peak, Chu Xiu was surrounded by a throng of Aurora disciples. Brother Chu Xiu, you're amazing. Senior brother, please, a signature. Chu Xiu signed with a smile, but a cold laugh echoed in his heart. Once upon a time, he was the demon Chu attacked by all. Now, he was the revered senior brother Chu. Choice matters more than effort. He had learned his lesson. His past evil was too blatant. From now on, he would be flawless on the surface, wicked in the shadows. As this thought solidified, 2 figures descended from the sky. Their powerful pressure sent rubble flying. A powerful woman in black with crimson patterns and a white-haired elder. Their piercing gazes locked onto him. MHM. Not bad. Not bad. The elder's voice was stern. The sage wishes to see you. Chu Xiu's expression sharpened. A new stage. A grander scheme. It had begun. So there we are, under the starlit heavens of Cloudstream Peak's Grand Hall. Chu Xiu, having shattered a record that stood for generations, basks in the Saint Lord's rare praise. But that little cough he fakes before he speaks? Oh, the nerve. Your Excellency, he asks, all feigned innocence. A record's broken. Is the reward handed out today? Not a second wasted. The man knows precisely when to strike. Cut to another scene entirely. A woman in crimson appears, wreathed in swirling amethyst energy and stardust. She says nothing. She doesn't need to. The subtle shift in her breath, the knowing gleam in her eye. It speaks volumes of allure and hidden peril. Another player enters the board. What role does she have to play? Well, the reward isn't a gift, it's a scolding. Master Chi Mengdai slams her authority down, calling him a traitor, a glutton. Chu Xiu doesn't flinch. He just smiles and names his price. Demon soul fruit, 10,000-year spirit milk, Buddha bone blossom. He's not asking for a prize. He's testing her limits, seeing what mountains she might move for him. But the reward was never the point. It was the opening. Before Tai Suzy, the silver-haired sage, a being of immense power, can even sense malice, Chu Xiu acts. His fingers flicker. A wisp of pink, a cursed sigil born of the heaven-weeping mother and son samsara seal, slips past her divine senses and burrows deep. The second host is claimed, and she doesn't even feel it. Whoa. The system chimes, and even the ex-demon lord is stunned. The seal combined two at once. His eyes gleam with sudden, wicked delight. Forget spirit fruit. This is power incarnate. And as the thought hits, a vision blooms. Tai Suzy and Chi Meng Dai, closing in from both sides. Now, that's a reward worth the name. A gift received, a noose concealed. Tai Suzy holds the 8 trigrams treasure, her power bolstered, yet a primal dread crawls up her spine. A millennium of instinct screams of a predator near, but her eyes find nothing. No trace, no aura. She chalks it up to solitude, to frayed nerves, and decides a walk will clear her head. Unwittingly, she's about to take a stroll right into the spider's parlor. Through stormy skies, the bat-winged ship sails. Inside, Chu Xiu dismisses the servants, leaving only his master. Chi Meng Dai, behind her mask, says she has words for him, but her tone, it's off. Chu Xiu sees right through it. A flick of his fingers, and a wisp of orange flame dances in the gloom. The stage is set once more. The soundproof array seals them in. Trap sprung. Chu Xiu closes the distance. We're the only two on the ship now, he murmurs, laying his cards on the table. Chi Meng Dai flushes with shame and rage, calling him traitor, demanding to know if she's just a tool. He parries with a sly grin. In your eyes, master, do I truly look that hungry? The hunter and the hunted trade places in a heartbeat. Time to deal. Chu Xiu produces a treasure, a veil that even the Saint Lord cannot pierce. His message is clear, our secret is safe. But a deal requires two sides. Chi Meng Dai's eyes narrow, suspicion warring with need. The price, she asks, voice tight. You're never this generous. The price? Patience. First, a gift. The box opens to reveal sheer, starlit stockings. Chu Xiu offers them with a predator smile. Just wear them. A reward if you like it. Chi Meng Dai stares at the flimsy fabric, her cheeks burning. What fresh devilry is this? She refuses, defiant to the end. But Chu Xiu has other levers to pull. 10 minutes. That's all it takes. Enveloped in pink haze, he pulls her close, his whisper a blade against her ear. You won't say it? Fine. Let's see how the disciples like hearing their peak master's current voice. The mind is the final battlefield, and her walls are crumbling. Victory. The choked, tearful Gaji is forced from Chi Meng Dai's lips. She rages, swearing to the heavens she'll kill him one day. But Chu Xiu? He's already moving on. The Silver Emperor, sand delivered. The divine pagoda, affair settled. Time to return to the mountain and set his own grand design in motion. Back at the sect, autumn leaves fall. Juniors chatter over the heavenly rankings, declaring the demon Lord Chu Xiu long dead, replaced. And there he stands, the man himself, listening with amusement. He leans in, a ghost with a smile. You'd never guess, he whispers. That demon Chu never died at all. The color drains from their faces. Public rankings hide private wounds. Amidst the starry data of the heavenly list, a familiar name leaps out. Lu Hongyi, of the Red Dust Sword sect. Chu Xiu's crimson gaze hardens, searching the void. What have you done, you foolish girl? What trouble have you landed in for my sake? Fame changes everything. Now that Chu Xiu's name is on the heavenly list, even borrowing a scroll becomes an act of deference. His juniors hand it over without a word. Only after he's gone do they dare whisper. You heard? Senior brother Chu Xiu made the list. Times have changed. Best not to cross him. Exactly as planned. A bounty notice. 1 million spirit stones for Lu Hongyi. The charge, treason, for avenging the demon Lord Chu Xiu. He holds the paper, his knuckles white. You fool. Have you lost your mind? To turn against your own sect for a ghost? He exhales a soft sound laced with killing intent, and something else, something dangerously close to feeling. A memory flashes, starlight, fireflies, fresh graves. A girl covered in blood. My family, they're all gone. A boy lying on the grass, eyes on the infinite dark. Mine are on the other side of the stars. I can't see them either. Two lost souls, forging a new bond in the silence. A promise to be family. A family member is in danger. The memory of that sealing handclasp burns. Alone on the cliff, Chu Xiu sends his thoughts flying across 1,000 miles. Junior sister Tao Yao, find someone for me. His voice is calm, but beneath it lies the steel of a storm about to be unleashed. The web expands. Another moonlit scene, another performance. Junior sister Tao Yao soothes her melancholy senior brother, recalling how his home was destroyed, how their master saved him, how Cloudstream Peak is his family now. Chu Xiu smiles and nods. Inside, a cold laugh echoes. That demonic raid on Qishan County 30 years ago, my doing. Even meeting Qi Mengdai was staged. This mask of the gentle disciple has been worn for 3 decades without a crack. The act deepens. He takes his junior sister's hand, his gaze tender as moonlight. But the board in his mind is glacial, every piece in place. Warmth is the bait, memory the trap. The reincarnated demon lord is playing the ultimate game on the holy sect's own board, a game of vengeance, ambition, and absolute deceit. The bard lowers his voice, leaning in. Under the moonlight, a delicate report passes from soft hands into the scoundrel's grasp. Just as Chu Xiu takes it, a feather-light kiss lands on his cheek. His face burns crimson, his thoughts a whirlwind. What trick is this? Is this a honey trap? Forcing calm, his eyes drop to the parchment. The ink bleeds a chilling truth. Lu Hongyi, spotted 3 days ago, in the heart of the Tang Empire, Chang'an City. In the distance, the glittering capital sprawls, no longer a beacon of civilization, but a den of hidden fangs and coiled shadows. Behold the slaughterhouse. A venerable elder coughs blood onto the shattered earth, roaring a desperate challenge. Will you follow in the demon Chu's footsteps and make the entire human race your enemy? Above them, a figure descends wreathed in azure lightning. Lu Hongyi, the former holy maiden of the Red Dust Sword sect. Her blade is a beacon of storm, her gaze colder than winter's heart. Below, a white-haired patriarch snarls a venomous oath. The Ji clan will never forgive you, will tear your corpse to shreds. And in the very center of this maelstrom of hate, one lone figure lies broken amidst crackling energy, ground splitting beneath them. Their fate unknown. The scent of battle hangs thick. Lu Hongyi stands amidst the wreckage, her red battle skirt trailing through dust and debris. Each footfall is a grim punctuation. Aster's tap star. An unseen voice probes the silence. What is your next move? Her answer is a glacial whisper that freezes the air. I will kill everyone. No fanfare, no rage, only finality. And from the deepest shadows, a pair of glowing eyes materializes, a haunting question echoing. For him, you would truly wage war against the whole world? Her sword remains unsheathed. Her choice is made. Beneath the shifting tapestry of stars, a vow is forged in fire. A woman with amethyst hair stands as a solitary sentinel, her eyes reflecting the cosmos. Her words are not whispered, but carved into the night itself. If the world is his enemy, then my enemy is the world. If he were Buddha, I would conquer all tribulations for him. If he were a demon, I would slaughter everyone on his behalf. Elsewhere, seizing the solitude, Chu Xiu sits upon a lonely crag. The time for hiding is over. Golden energy erupts from his core as he finally unveils the supreme arts rewarded from the Taisu Divine Tower, the 9-character truth, and the Xingzi secret. Runes swirl like living constellations around him as he delves into profound mysteries. The quiet disciple sheds his skin. The predator begins his true cultivation. 3 days of deciphering celestial riddles have left Chu Xiu's mind reeling. In a midnight bamboo grove, he stretches his aching limbs and freezes. A presence. He spins, voice sharp. Who's there? Stepping from a curtain of wisteria blossoms is a vision of opulence. Silver hair, golden eyes, robes of deepest violet. Her smile holds no warmth as she names him. Are you Zhu Su? She announces herself as Elder Hua Luofei from Dalian Peak. Trouble, dressed in silk, has come knocking. And inside a nearby chamber, another, more knowing smile curls in the dim light. A chance encounter on a mountain path, thick with unspoken agendas. Chu Xiu offers a polite bow. Elder Hua, to what do I owe this visit? Hua Luofei perches on a mossy rock, her casual posture belying the sharp intelligence in her golden gaze. Just passing through, she claims, having witnessed his cultivation struggles. But Chu Xiu's senses scream a warning. Her aura is profound, veiled, and laced with the distinct resonance of a holy sun's imprint. A cold suspicion claws at him. Has the supreme Taisu Zi herself donned a disguise to test the waters? The pleasantries vanish. Hua Luofei cuts to the chase, her voice like clear ice. Are you planning to venture into the hidden demon wasteland? Chu Xiu admits the dangers are immense, requiring serious preparation. Outwardly calm, inwardly his heart is a frantic drum solo, blood rushing to his face at her proximity. Seizing the moment, he steers the conversation to deeper waters, voicing the ancient paradox. Before the Luo Emperor's era, a human emperor and a demon emperor would rise every 10 millennia, like opposing tides. So why? He leans forward. Did the human race never seize the chance to wipe out the demons for good? The question hangs, probing the continent's oldest, most dangerous secret. Hua Luofei's golden eyes hold the depth of forgotten ages. Her sword gleams with captured starlight. It was not a matter of hatred, she muses. More likely, an unspoken accord between two apex powers. The truth, she admits, is lost to time. To become an emperor is to grasp the secrets of stars and continent. Chu Xiu presses further, hungry. Is there anything beyond the emperor? A slow, solemn shake of her head. From antiquity until now, 17 emperors have graced this land, and every single one vanished without a trace. The revelation falls like a stone into a dark well, the path ahead swallowed by deeper mystery. The lesson ends, and with it the moment. Hua Luofei turns away, voice soft. Our discussion was far too ambitious. Chu Xiu can't hide the reluctance. Elder Hua, will we meet again? She glances back over her shoulder, and in that fleeting smile, the moonlight seems to brighten. Naturally, when you emerge from that demonic wasteland, I'll be waiting right here. It's a promise, he vows. In his mind, the system cackles with irreverent glee. Asterisk Kiki. The host charm is truly something wicked. Asterisk beneath the sweet promise, new threads of fate are woven. With the elder gone, more mundane troubles arise. Starved for cultivation resources for his new arts, Chu Xiu's thoughts drift back to his beautiful master, Qi Mengdai. Perhaps another donation is in order. He arrives at the grand entrance to her abode, but halts at the sound of voices within. His so-called master is speaking, her tone principled. Though I am his master, I have no right to demand his possessions without cause. Peering through a window, Chu Xiu grins. There stands his master's nephew, the very bully who torments Junior sister Xiaoran. Him, the boy looks like a stiff breeze could snap him in two. What a joke. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. The nephew, Ming'er, corners Chu Xiu, his grip tight on the younger man's shoulder. Chu Xiu, you still have the great emperor's silver sand, right? Chu Xiu masks his inner scorn with a show of reluctance. It's with me. I was just waiting for a chance to give it to Junior sister Xiaoran myself. Ming'er's greed is palpable. Give it to me. I'll pass it on. With theatrical slowness, Chu Xiu produces a single, radiant grain. He touches it lightly, sighing. Something I obtained after facing countless hardships. He plays the reluctant fool, even as he dangles the bait. Ming'er stares, mesmerized by the sand's glow, already fantasizing. With this, that foolish Chu Xiaoran will have no choice but to beg me to save her mother. The deal is struck. Chu Xiu names his price, 1 million top-grade spirit stones. To his surprise, Ming'er agrees without a single haggled word, even calling him a good man. They clap each other on the back, good friends in this charade. Idiot, Chu Xiu thinks, he didn't even bargain. He presses his advantage. I'll sell you all the remaining sand. Ming'er's eyes dart. Well, I only have a little bit left myself. Perfect. Chu Xiu needs to monopolize the resource to control Xiaoran. Then Ming'er uppends a spatial pouch. With a deafening clang, a veritable mountain of shimmering silver sand cascades onto the ground. Chu Xiu's jaw drops. You call this a little? No sooner does the silver sand settle than a new storm erupts. A woman of terrifying presence storms in, silver hair, crimson eyes, a mysterious cat-eared mask. She points an ornate staff at Chu Xiu, her voice a whip crack. Traitorous disciple. How dare you bully a fellow disciple here? Chu Xiu meets her glare, unyielding. It was a fair trade. Ming'er tries to slink away, but Chu Xiu's shout of traitor nails him in place, sparking a furious retort. The masked woman's anger escalates. Call me elder sister. Chu Xiu sets his jaw. No, before the word fades, her staff, adorned with chilling bells, swings through the air with crushing force. In the uneasy calm, tension takes a different shape. The cat-masked woman lounges, toying with a spirit fruit, her voice a silken provocation. Traitor, do I seem fuller than a month ago? Chu Xiu puts on a mask of earnest concern. Master, permit this disciple to thoroughly examine you. His hand drifts toward a decidedly inappropriate destination. Get lost. A flash of sword light sends him tumbling. He lands in a heap, but merely grins, plucking up the dropped fruit. A juicy crunch later, he has the audacity to ask, Master, about that favor I asked. She shoots him a venomous glare. It's in the Imperial Palace. Now, get out. Deep within the Chime Imperial Palace, a mechanism clicks open. Nestled inside are three radiant, warm stones, pulsing with gentle heat. Chushio lifts one, admiration in his tone. As expected of my master, a true artisan. This stone generates warmth and spirit energy. Perfect for massaging the soul's acupoints, excellent for recovery and cultivation. His words are a scholarly lecture, but his actions are anything but. His hands close around his master's delicate, bare foot. Why, you traitorous disciple? What do you think you're doing? The masked master freezes, her entire body rigid. Behind the mask, her face is undoubtedly burning crimson. Chushio leans in, his presence overwhelming, gently pushing his master down. His smile is all predator. Master, you truly are a brilliant woman. Shame and fury war in her eyes. You traitor, you asked me to craft these stones just to bully me like this. The scene dissolves, replaced by a dreamscape of falling blossoms. Chushio offers a hand, his voice deceptively gentle. Oh, then what does Master desire? All her earlier fire evaporates. The mighty elder bows her head, cheeks flushed, her whisper barely audible. I've made a mistake. A sudden preview flashes. In another place, a pink-haired girl clutches her abdomen in shock, a strange, unsettling sensation blooming within her. This is a promotional/transitional image, no direct plot. The bard sets a mood. From the abyssal gloom, a new shadow spreads its wings. Crimson hair like spilled blood, vast purple pinions that blot out the stars. Is this the gaze of the deep, or the herald of a demon sovereign? Beneath the surface of the Tianxiong continent, ancient powers stir. Tune in next time, as the demonic trail grows hot. The system interface hums with data, Chushio's stats glowing with steady progress. Asterisk host cultivation, Sea of Destiny peak. Sword intent, minor achievement. Techniques, Tao scripture, Xingzi's secret art. Asterisk he stands with his back to a steamy bath, where a silver-haired beauty soaks in blissful tranquility. The system's dry commentary whispers in his mind. Indeed, the effect of the heavenly fragrance body does boost the target's mood and enhance receptivity. Asterisk small props do have their uses. Asterisk the warm stones were never just stones. Within the sealed abode, a shackle breaks. Qiming Die's eyes snap open, a torrent of golden light erupting from her core. That damned traitor. He's finally gone. Joy surges. The arrogant fool forgot to reinforce the seal. The world's spiritual energy, a sensation she'd almost forgotten, floods her meridians. She drinks it in, then freezes. Her cultivation, it hasn't just recovered, it's advanced during her imprisonment. Asterisk could it be, because of him? Asterisk, she clenches a fist, azure energy crackling. Oomph. Just you wait, traitor. But triumph is fleeting. From the darkest corner of the room, a coil of sinister black smoke begins to writhe into being behind her. Master, don't celebrate just yet. Chushio's amused voice slithers from a communication talisman. Even from 10,000 miles away, sealing you is but a thought. Asterisk what? How am I sealed again? Asterisk fury and humiliation war within her. Foiled again, she snatches up a crude doll with black yarn for hair, studded with needles. Traitor, traitor, D. Each thrust is vicious, accompanied by imagined wet sounds of punctured flesh. In the midst of her vengeful ritual, she suddenly goes rigid. A hand flies to her lower abdomen, her expression shifting from rage to bewildered alarm. Asterisk, why do I feel some movement here? Asterisk, she looks down. A soft, golden glow is emanating faintly from within her. The purple gateway to the desolate beast realm yawns open, humming with ancient power. A throng of disciples gathers, buzz of anticipation thick in the air. Among them, one stands apart, crimson eyes fixed on the portal, a cold, detached smirk on his lips. His target is singular, his purpose buried deep, the soul-devouring demon fruit. The portal's hum reaches a crescendo. Weishio waves, all grinning enthusiasm. Chushio returns the smile, the picture of a fellow disciple. But inside, the gears turn. Walking alongside a son of destiny like Yifan, that's a path paved with either fortune or calamity, or a thrilling mix of both. Meanwhile, far from the gathering crowd, webs of conspiracy are spun. Perched high in ancient branches, Swordcrest Peak Lord Lu Shui issues her lethal decree. Make it look like the beast did it. Leave no thread for even time's gaze to unravel. Elsewhere, betrayal brews between supposed brothers. A dead prodigy, one sneers to another, is just a corpse. The trap is set before the hunt even begins. Twist upon twist. Turns out, Chushio has more than one death warrant on his head. In the shadows, a woman with sharp hairpin smiles, a viper's calculation in her eyes. And in the open, two junior sisters intercept him on the path, one blushing and shy, the other smiling with unspoken intent. The system chimes in, amused. Post-luck and love is evolving. Towards Sea King territory, perhaps. Farewell gifts aren't all soft words and blushes. With solemn reverence, the pink-haired junior sister presents a sheathed greatsword. The air grows heavy around it. The system identifies it in a flash. Overlord Dragonblade. Earth-grade artifact. Forged from the spine of an ancient azure dragon. Chushio grips the hilt. A crimson aura erupts, scattering golden leaves in a shockwave. The blade hums, a dragon waking. His arsenal for the trials ahead just got a lot heavier. Warnings and well-wishes pile up. Worries about ancient beasts, gifts of rare formation materials, even an invitation for tea from a grateful mother. Chushio accepts it all with perfect courtesy. But behind the polite smiles, his mind is a ledger, calculating debts and advantages. His gaze finally lifts to the now-thrumming purple portal. Time to step into the arena. At the Elder's command, the portal flares to life. With a final nod to the two women, Chushio utters a curt, "Junior sisters, I go ahead," and strides into the violet radiance. The moment he vanishes, the civility shatters behind him. "Senior brother," one cries out. "Don't pretend you know him," the other retorts, voice icy. The rivalry ignites in his absence, a storm of jealousy left in his wake. And the drama doesn't pause at the gate. A teasing remark about wrinkles is the spark to tinder. The pink-haired sister explodes. A crimson aura detonates around her, swirling fallen leaves into a frenzy. Chu Xiao ran. "Are you trying to provoke me on purpose?" she roars. Before the words finish, a figure blurs backward in retreat. The prelude to the secret realm? A spectacular sisterly spar right on the doorstep. One step through, and the world transforms. Towering primordial trees, glowing will-o-wisps, a vast, ancient realm unfolds. All around, disciples chatter, forming teams for treasure hunts. But Chu Xiao stands apart, crimson eyes narrowed in thought, finger tapping his chin. "Find he fan first?" he muses silently. Borrow a bit of that protagonist's ludicrous luck? Or, this isn't an adventure for him. It's a game board, and he's deciding his opening move. Plans shattered by the sound of rushing feet and shouted names. There he is. Surround him. From the shadows, for figures launch themselves, blades wreathed in fire, palms crackling with energy. Chushio's mind races. Who did I offend? The system chimes in, almost cheerfully. Perception check failed, host. With no room to maneuver, he makes the only sane choice. Body already twisting away, he spits out the strategy. Retreat. Now, he moves like a phantom, a streak of red and shadow. Whoosh! He's airborne, propelled by a burst of sinister, eye-like crimson energy. He escaped, yell the pursuers below. But their leader just grins in the rain, holding up a pulsating compass. "Run all you want," he sneers. "The chi-tracking compass has your scent. We'll drag you back from the depths of hell itself." The hunt is on, and the hounds have his trail. Art break / scene transition. We return to a world of desolation. The desolate demon realm. Jagged peaks like fangs against the sky. Chushio stands alone on a precipice. Before him, his prize, the pulsing soul infant demon fruit. But its light is faint, unripe. And between him and it, the guardian stirs. A desolate beast python, emperor grade, rises like a moving mountain range, its blood-red eyes fixing on the intruder. The real trial begins. An emperor-grade beast? Just another obstacle. Killing intent floods Chu Xio's crimson eyes. The overlord Dragonblade ignites with violent amethyst flames. "Starscript, secret art," he roars. Man and sword become a single bolt of purple lightning, striking for the serpent's heart. Bone crack. Scales shatter. Dark purple demonic energy erupts in a devastating shower. One stroke. One dead emperor. The beast falls, but its dissipating energy is captured, swirling into a rotating lotus of violet flame. System. Exchange. Chushio reaches out. The interface flashes. Exchange successful. 70,000 breakthrough points obtained. He drops to the stone, sitting in meditation. Crimson runes ignite around him. The moment for ascension is now. His consciousness dives deep into the mysteries of the star's script secret art. Power refined, Chu Xiu strides toward his prize. But up close, the fruit's color is off, a sickly blue-purple. Unripe, the system practically sighs for him. Fought an emperor beast for this? Host, your luck is in the gutter. Instead of frustration, a slow, cunning smile spreads across Chu Xiu's face. He taps his chin. Unripe, you say? So, there's no way to process it. The system blares an alarm. Hell's bells. You're not planning to, you old demon. You absolute fiend. The fruit conundrum waits. On a firefly-lit forest path, while gathering herbs, Chu Xiu has another chance encounter. This time, it's a squad of fellow disciples led by Chun Mufan. Senior brother Chu Xiu. Fancy meeting you here. Chen's smile is all warmth. Inside, Chu Xiu's thoughts are ice. More assassins. But outwardly, he's calm, even suppressing the killing instinct that thrums in his veins. Chun, for his part, calculates. Keep him talking. Wait for the others to close the net. The act commences. The disciples crowd around, faces etched with fabricated concern. Senior brother, we heard you're being hunted, that you killed someone. A purple-haired sister clutches her chest, dramatic. Heavens! Don't worry, senior brother, we'll protect you. They weave a tale of solidarity, offering shelter in their strong group. Chu Xiu watches it all, a silent spectator. He knows the script. This isn't a rescue. It's gilded bait for a trap. Chu Xiu plays along. He sighs, a picture of touched gratitude. Alas, I am deeply moved by your righteous hearts. His surrender fuels their performance. The purple-haired woman seizes the moment, leaning against his shoulder, cheeks flushed. Come closer, senior brother, she murmurs. Chu Xiu doesn't flinch, standing firm as stone. But in the depths of his eyes, a sliver of icy mockery glints. Let's see how long this little play lasts. A campfire crackles, the rich scent of roasting lamb filling the clearing. Chu Xiu plays the generous host. Friends, a specialty for my senior sister Xiaoran. Too much for one man. Please share. The mood is jovial, feasting and laughter. Chu Xiu drains his cup with gusto. But the purple-haired woman, hands clenched in her lap, discreetly sniffs her own wine. No poison in the wine, she mutters to herself. A fatal assumption. The real venom was never in the cup. The night was warm, the fire crackled, and spirits flowed freely under the stars. The brawny blue-haired man drained his cup, declaring a true man feasts heartily. But the black-haired one, Chu Xiu, only smiled with a cold glint in his eye. The revelry broke in an instant when his words cut through the air like a blade. What price would you pay for a handful of coin? Your very soul. The chill that followed was sharper than any night wind. The hammer fell like a thunderbolt, wreathed in lightning. Yet the red-haired man sat unmoved, his voice cool as steel. When did you see through it? Before the echo died, Chu Xiu was upon him, a blur of motion. The moment you stepped into the light. Then it happened. One crimson eye ignited, his robes swirling with unseen power. This was no disciple. This was Xing, the hidden star of slaughter. Chu Xiu stood by the water's edge, calm as a deep lake. Take a look inside your own divine bridges. No sooner had he spoken than the three across from him clutched their chests. Crimson venom patterns snaked and burst across the purple-robed woman's skin. A fox-like smile touched his lips. My poison contains no wine. A low chuckle followed. Authentic, through and through. Want to live? I might just have a deal for you. The antidote was in hand, but trust was still a currency in short supply. How can we be sure you'll lift the poison after? Chu Xiu didn't miss a beat. He raised a hand to the heavens. I swear upon my master's name. If I, Chu Xiu, break this vow, may the heavenly principles curse her cultivation to eternal stagnation. At that very moment, miles away on Cloudstream Peak, Chi Ming Dai, mid-bite into a fruit, sneezed violently. Asterisk Achu. Asterisk who's calling my name? In the dark woods, for figures bowed. It is done. Chu Xiu stood with his back to them, a cold smirk forming. He raised his right hand, and with a sharp asterisk Xing asterisk, a massive greatsword wreathed in crimson light materialized behind him, humming with malicious energy. My word is my bond. I'll be waiting for good news from the five of you. With that, his form, along with the blade's bloody glow, melted into the impenetrable black. Beneath the 9-layer divine plum blossom peak, disciples gathered. Ping Xiaotian, the true disciple of Golden Peak, stood at their forefront, commanding respect. A blue-robed junior reported breathlessly. We saw Chu Xiu here an hour ago, but he fled the moment he saw us. Unbelievably fast. Another questioned the purpose of the summons. Little did they know, with every step of Chu Xiu's panicked flight, the strands of an invisible net pulled tighter around them all. Chen Mufan unrolled a scroll, a sincere smile on his face. The precise location of the soul-transforming demon fruit, the peak of that very mountain. Chu Xiu's gaze was a honed blade, seeing straight through. A treasure of heaven and earth. Why not claim it yourselves? I don't believe in free lunches. What's the real play here? Chen's expression turned grave. The fruit's habitat is lethally dangerous. All 5 of us going would be suicide. We only ask that if you succeed, you share a portion of the credit. The hook was baited, the line cast with pretty words. On the mountain path, Chen Mufan issued commands with gusto. We got this map from Chu Xiu. We can't let him get there first. Unseen above, nestled in the gnarled roots of an ancient tree, Chu Xiu watched with icy detachment. Childish, he thought, a sneer in his mind. He wants us to do the work and still take a bigger cut? How laughable. As leaves drifted down, his eyes tracked over a dozen figures trudging into view below. They're here, and in greater numbers than expected. Purple mist swirled, severing spiritual senses. An aberrant violet demon fruit hung in the air, and within it, something moved, fetal and alive. A sinister asterisk giggle asterisk emanated from its core. From afar, cultivators cried out in fervor, devour that fruit and ascend to godhood in one leap. They lunged forward, blind to the truth. The opportunity they coveted was the very center of a lethal illusion, a trap baited with their own greed. The moment greed took hold, the illusion shattered. Beneath their feet, violent red-purple energy erupted, churning like a furious tide. Asterisk whoosh. Asterisk, the very space around them began to fracture and collapse. A female cultivator clutched her chest, coughing up blood, her face a mask of horror. It's an array illusion. Too late. The kill switch was tripped the second they mistook Phantom for prize. There was no way back. Kill, kill, kill. The battlefield became a hellscape. A life for my mother. You dared steal my beloved. You are unworthy of that treasure. Roars and shrieks intertwined. Each soul burned with vengeance, turning blades on former brothers and sworn comrades. Hatred consumed reason. Blood fed the frenzy. In that secret realm, a bloody carnival unfolded where there would be no victors, only the damned. Corpses littered the ground, the stench of blood thick in the air. Chu Xiu stood atop the mound of the dead, his crimson eyes fathomless. To think this demon fruit matures by devouring the life force of the living. The vile thing within the fruit giggled asterisk as it feasted on the freshly extinguished vitality. After a moment calculation, he turned. Still needs a bit more. No matter. This place reeks of death. With that, the Reaper turned and melted into the desolate wilds, leaving only silence in his wake. 2 days passed. The mountains had fallen silent. The surviving disciples whispered in fear. The senior brothers, something must have happened. Will Chu Xiu even detoxify us now? They lifted their gaze, and there upon the cliff's edge stood Chu Xiu in his black and red robes, looking down upon his flock of frightened lambs. The fish had finally swum back to the net of their own accord. Chu Xiu's crimson eyes narrowed, killing intent sharpening to a point. Failed the mission, got your own kin killed, and still come crawling back for rewards? His gaze from on high raked over them like a physical blow. Then, a flicker of awareness. This demonic aura, he vanished. In the next heartbeat, he materialized right before them, a phantom made flesh. This stench of demons, did you bring it here? The war cry shook the heavens. On sheer cliffs, human cultivators fled for their lives, pursued by a horde of red-eyed, fanged otherworlders frothing with bloodlust. At their head, a demon general hefted a massive axe, his roar splitting the air. Humans. More humans. For the tribe. For freedom. Kill them all. The hunt was on. Nearly 10 days in the secret realm. And this was the 3rd ambush. Chu Xiu's foot stamped down, golden light flaring. A ray secret. His form became a blazing comet. Sword tip aimed at the enemy commander's heart. Asterisk boom. Asterisk. Violet energy exploded outward, scattering limbs and rubble. The few demons left standing trembled in utter terror. This combat strength, it's overwhelming. A blade edge pressed against the demon's throat, a pitiful wail following. Speak. Who sent you? Chu Xiu's voice held no warmth. The helmeted demon broke. I'll talk. We serve an ancient demon. We were sent from the desolate demon realm to ambush human prodigies here. A cold light flickered in Chu Xiu's scarlet eyes. The depths of the desolate demon realm, plotting as expected. A far greater shadow was beginning to stir behind the curtain. The system's cold glow illuminated Chu Xiu's impassive profile. Villainous disciple, not the saint. On the battlefield, a single sweep of his blade had laid the demon host low, lesser fiends strewn about like fallen leaves. The surviving disciples looked on with mingled awe and dread. Senior Brother Chu, the detoxification, please? And the junior brother Chun, tasked with mopping up, had gone deathly pale. Playing Loki? The moment that sword gleamed, the facade was shattered for good. Chu Xiu stepped onto a crimson skiff and soared into the sky. I'll take my leave first. May fortune favor your battles. His clear laughter trailed behind him, a cruel farewell gift to those trapped below. Their strongest fighter was gone, the rest still poisoned. The demon's roars and rending claws descended, drowning out the screams of the damned. The crimson skiff cut through the firmament, aimed like an arrow at the mouth of the melting cave. Chu Xiu's eyes were sharp. Finally, the treasure trove of the quasi-demon emperor. Meanwhile, on a mountain path below, the blue-robed Chen Mufan waved a map triumphantly. Huh, this is it. The treasure is mine. He laughed to the heavens. I must say, riding the coattails of a protagonist's luck is truly incredible. Hunter and prey, from opposing paths, converged on the same prize. The final act was about to begin. Here's the scoop. Our man, Chu Xiu, watching from the shadows as this Master Yi prattles on about scouting ahead, that smirk on his face, it ain't for good news. This guy walks into a treasure trove, and he doesn't hesitate. He's grabbing every sky-grade herb, every drop of stone milk, like he's on a shopping spree. And the universe itself, asterisk ding, keeps rewarding him for it. Backpack bursting, pockets full, Chu Xiu takes a breath. He knows this windfall wasn't luck. He stole it from fate's favorite son. He's about to celebrate when a flicker of crimson light deep in the cave catches his eye. Finally, the heart of the treasure vault. 2 pedestals, 2 glowing artifacts. Victory is inches away. Then a chill runs down his spine. He looks up, and there it is, a colossal white serpent, a being at the peak of the otherworldly realm, coiled and sleeping mere feet above the prize. Just when you think it can't get worse. Brother Chu, what a coincidence. The blue-haired fool pops up again, all false smiles. Before the last word leaves his mouth, asterisk kaboom. Asterisk the titanic guardian serpent awakens, eyes glowing hellfire red. Chu Xiu knows instantly. This idiot triggered the trap. Cut to Chu Xiu, barking orders move. Now, while the blue-haired guy is scrambling from a monster's maw. Panic here, strategy there. And back at base, the cavalry's already gathering, forming a teleportation circle. The pieces are moving fast. News travels fast, and this ain't good news. The elder in charge of the soul tokens stumbles out, pale as a ghost. Disaster. The tokens for the disciples in the demon abyss, they're shattering. All of them. Amidst the chaos, a voice cuts through the panic, cool and commanding. Do not fear. It's the silver-haired saintess. With a sweep of her hands, a colossal azure array erupts at her feet. Let the illusory I pierce the veil and see the truth. Switch scenes. To a snow-capped peak, drowning in demonic miasma. An army of fiends trembles, staring up at the glowing orb of their secret realm. The humans are coming. We're finished. Their leader, Demon Shark, roars with contempt. Silence. Not even a Saint King can breach our sanctum. He lifts an ancient, glowing mirror. For our freedom, slaughter them all. Wait, this treasure, it's resonating? We now interrupt this demonic uprising for a brief message. A flash to the captive master, Chi Meng Dai. A blush, a conflicted gaze. What thoughts are swirling in the mind of the beauty held in her treacherous disciple's thrall? This just in. The demons inside the secret realm are in open rebellion. A monstrous chieftain, wielding power at the pinnacle of the Bardo realm, has broken loose. The elders outside are in a panic. The realm's constraints are broken. Activate the teleportation portal. Get our disciples out now. The Peak Masters huddle, plans forming. The Fox-masked one claims, I'm not worried about that traitor. It's the other disciples. But her thoughts betray her. A tangled mess of anxiety, all centered on one name. Inside the realm, a monsoon, a wasteland. Su Rushue, a core disciple, flees for her life from dark pursuers. And Chu Xiu? He watches from a distance, his gaze fixed on the colossal heavenly eye observing everything. To save her would expose his game. To let her die would ruin his grand design. A crimson streak cleaves the air. From nowhere, he descends. Chu Xiu, sword in hand, a tempest of killing intent. The demonic grunts around Su Rushue recoil as one. Fear not, junior sister. I'll handle this. But he's charging into a horde of divine bridge realm demons. Su Rushue's heart stops. He's only at the peak of the wheel sea. It's suicide, but it's too late. Chu Xiu's lance ignites with wicked flames as he charges, alone, straight into the tide of darkness. The flames die down. Silence. Chu Xiu stands amidst a field of demonic ruin. Su Rushue, battered and bloody, looks at him not as a man, but as a force of nature. Senior brother Chu, if they said you were the reincarnation of a demon god, I would believe it. He offers a priceless healing herb. He guides them to safety. But when the youngest asks if he's coming too, he turns away. No, I have other matters. His voice is cold, final. What matters are more important than escape. Why'd he stay? The half-stone mirror fused to his arm is pulsing, calling to its other half deep within the realm. Meanwhile, back at the plaza, his legend grows. Chu Xiu the hero. Such power, such generosity. His saintly reputation is being forged piece by calculated piece. Deep in Mo Mountain, two cultivators salivate over a fruit that promises a direct path to the divine manifestation realm. One reaches for it, then freezes. Wait, footsteps. Behind us, from the shadows, a figure they never expected steps into the light. Two opportunists, all grins and false camaraderie, try to maneuver Chu Xiu into the danger zone. We'll share the spoils. They lie, spinning a web of promises. But Chu Xiu sees right through them, a pawn in their game, meant to die first. The trap is sprung. A four symbols formation locks down the air, and the taunts rain down, a mere wheel sea whelp. But then, ancient power awakens. Chu Xiu shatters his cage in a storm of steel and blood. Fire and shadow dance on the edge of a blade. Chu Xiu advances, a specter of vengeance. In your next life, he whispers, his gaze pitiless and final. Try not to wear the villain's mask. And the sword falls. From the roar of battle and the silence of death, to the warmth of a chamber and a maiden's blushing glance. The line between destruction and desire is a tightrope only a master at both can walk. The system chimes. The fruits of one's labor? More like the fruits of total annihilation. Chu Xiu scorched the earth and reaped the points. Then, the inevitable question, ready to break through the 10th level. A thunderbolt in a clear sky. A 99.99999% chance of divine lightning. Before Chu Xiu can ponder the other mirror's pull, the ambush is on. Rain slices the night, and a shadow hisses its hunger. Kill. One smirks, a predator sensing prey. The other curses, a fox in the lion's den. The system's warning hangs in the air like a guillotine. All right then, Chu Xiu murmurs, a flicker of crimson in his eyes. The game is set. The pieces move. Chaos reigns. The wounded weep. The plaza is a monument to defeat. Amidst the desperation, Chu Xiu stands apart, unervingly calm. The system frets about thunder and pursuers. His reply is a blade of ice. No need for you to worry. A sound like the sky breaking. The Emperor's formation, sundered. The demon chieftain holds a relic that hums with power, a weight that crushes hope. An imperial artifact. The hidden disciples whisper, knowing they're already lost. The ultimatum echoes. Bring us the one with the mirror shard. Then, a figure steps forward. Chu Xiu raises a sliver of glowing jade, a smile playing on his lips. Looking for this? Every eye, every weapon turns to him. Behind a mask, a mind races. Two possibilities, forced out, or a willing sacrifice. Either way, comes the grim reply he can't win. Unbeknownst to them, the subject of their debate is already moving, a dark stone in his palm, steps firm on the plaza's ancient stones. The hall is a storm of accusations. Save the true disciple. Sacrifice him for the many. Honor clashes with survival. Meanwhile, outside, the red-skinned demon king lounges on his throne, a living hourglass. 50 breaths, he growls. Then we come in. In the weeping rain, a desperate plea is made. Senior Chu Xiu, you can't be heartless. Go out to them. He meets her tearful gaze, a strange gentleness in his smile. Thank you for speaking up, junior sister. Leave the rest to me. And he walks, alone, toward the flaming circle and the waiting legion. Is this your choice? The silver-haired one asks the retreating back. On the wind-swept peak, the demon king hefts his blade, a grin splitting his fearsome face as the lone figure approaches. You've got nerve, kid. The chest opens. A ruby glow, the soul-eating demon fruit, ripe and pulsating. Demons roar, blades glinting. Kill. Snatch it. Amidst the frenzy, Chu Xiao stands still, cradling the prize. His command is a quiet ripple in the storm. System. Break through the Tao scripture. 10,000 points burn. A divine physique transforme. The peak of Wheel C is shattered. The ninth level of Divine Bridge is seized. The system screams its final warning. Thunder tribulation incoming. Chu Xiao rises, golden flames wreathing him as the sky above cracks open with furious light. It arrives. And Chu Xiao does not endure, he redirects. He channels the fury of the heavens, the tempest in his veins, and hurls it downward. Taste the thunder tribulation combo. A word, kill, etches itself across the sky as divine punishment becomes his weapon.